Good afternoon. I'm here to talk about Thalia. Thalia is a little girl, 8 years old. She's in 3rd grade. Thalia spends some of her day in an inclusive general education classroom and the other part of her day in a special education classroom which has a special ed teacher, an educational assistant, and a small group of children. Thalia also receives speech and language therapy with a speech and language pathologist, and she sees an occupational therapist as well. When Thalia was evaluated, she presented with very high scores on the autism rating scale. She is functionally nonverbal at this time. Thalia points, she gestures, she responds well to visuals, she enjoys picture books, she's able to match items, and she's accustomed to using the PECS, the Picture Exchange Communication System. I would like to talk about building on this for Thalia. Thalia is also able to follow verbal prompts, brief verbal prompts. Some goals for Thalia include pairing I want with a picture card to fill in the blank, and I feel, and expressing herself like that. For social communication, she is working on reciprocity with play, with familiar peers, and for this I would definitely recommend having the teacher hand select 1 or 2 peers, starting small, and using an activity such as something with a ball or a board game, something that Thalia can follow and participate in, and rewarding her with sensory items and a lot of social praise. To enhance her instructional behavior, I would recommend using a combination of PECS with a couple of devices that I'm going to demonstrate. I think that she can work on answering WH questions after having a story read to her. Who, what, where, when, things involving actions, having her select different actions, different characters, different aspects that relate to the setting of the story, and she can do this in a way that is nonverbal, using the PECS and using the devices that I'm going to show. All right. One of the things that I would like Thalia to have more expression with is in terms of showing her feelings and labeling her feelings. And this is something that can be done with the PECS. This is actually a book of feelings that I have here, and this comes at different levels, and it has the capacity for matching as well as filling in the blanks, answering sentences, and you can draw on it as well. It's like a dry erase surface. It also has some more complex feelings, a little grade above the usual happy, sad, mad, tired kind of thing. So it's got things, well, this one is mad, but this is excited, calm, frustrated. Okay, we have one that says impatient. All right, and this is a way to build on vocabulary as well. Device that I would like to recommend for her, well, is the iPad, but specifically the application of the ProLoquo application. And there are others like it, but I'm going to demonstrate the ProLoquo. So as you can see, there's a wide variety. Now the board looks a little bit busy right now. Thalia may not be up to that, but I would suggest maybe with her starting with no more than 8 icons at a time and building up from that. That is very customizable, and there's a wide variety of verbs, nouns, small words, high frequency words, things related to different settings, things with feelings. Okay, so here, I, okay, and here's want. I want, and then there's a whole bunch of things that she could want. Okay, candy, okay? And what we would do is we would set this up in a way that is easily accessible to her, okay? And there's many things here. There's many settings. there are actions. All right.
Love.
There's love.
Can.
Can.
Tell.
Tell. Okay, here.
Turn.
Turn. Many different things that can be used. And there are other applications like this, but for purposes of time, I'm going to demonstrate the proloquo. All right. Something else that I would recommend for Thalia, I want her to engage with peers. I want her to be able to sit and play a game with a peer. But then the question is, how does she communicate? How does she communicate with the other children? This is something that I would recommend for her. This is called the iTalk, okay? iTalk 4 big switch, okay? There's 4 switches. These are programmable, all right? So I've programmed a few phrases, 4 phrases that I thought might be useful for her, okay? And all she needs to do is hold on a second.
Let's play this game.
Okay, and she wants to play a game.
It's my turn.
My turn, very functional.
I need a break.
Definitely something we want her to be able to communicate and to do so in a socially appropriate way rather than having a tantrum, getting upset, running away.
I need help with this.
To help ease her frustration. So this is another device that I would recommend for Thalia, and it can be used in social situations. It's very portable. I've taken it outside with kids. This can be taken home. It can be used in the classroom. Very helpful device. All right, so while we're using these devices, we want to use visual guiding, at least in the beginning, till she gets accustomed to using these alternative and augmentative modes of communication. Simple and direct verbal prompting, scaffolding of responses. Okay, definitely if we have a busy board like I was showing over here, we definitely want to cover part of it, or we may be able to customize it so that it's only showing a few icons at a time. We can use discrete trial training for Thalia, working one-on-one with her. If the setting allows, perhaps in her special education class or at home with her parents, and we would of course bring them in and train them. And this would involve her answering questions about a story, pointing to select things to communicate, okay? Using positive reinforcement. Thalia seems to respond very well to things that are predictable. Okay, so we want to keep a schedule for her. We want to have a visual schedule for her, and possibly a choice board, and to keep the routine predictable, because she seems to respond well to that. Definitely if there's a transition or a change in the routine, we want to prep her for that, okay, both verbally and visually. We're going to model this technique and all these techniques for all stakeholders involved, because we want to have a consistent response across all settings. This would include, but not limited to, teachers, paraprofessionals, therapists working with Thalia, peers. We're using peer mediation with her and peer assistance. We want to possibly train a couple of peers in something simple like the iTalk 4 big switch, okay? And this might even extend to people in the cafeteria if she has interaction with them. Possibly not bringing a device at that time, but bringing something like this, okay? Something like this, something that Thalia can hold up and show as a means of communicating her thoughts and her desires, all right? Again, we're going to use rewards that are reinforcing for Thalia. She likes things with textures. She likes balls. We're going to use the sensory balls, maybe little stickers. Definitely a lot of verbal praise, and then eventually we want to fade out the tangibles and just focus on the verbal praise. Very importantly, and this is not only exclusive to Thalia, when working with people with communication disorders, we want to show respect and we want to comply with ethical practice. okay? We need to respect their privacy. Anything, any new strategy that we're going to try with Thalia or anybody else, we need to be sure to secure parental permissions, and we need to secure these in writing so that there's no misunderstanding later on. It's very nice to take pictures and record things and maybe sometimes take a video, but please make sure that we have permission. We have written permission for this in advance. And another thing that we want to think about is having compassion and having consideration for her feelings, noting her response. We want to, track with some kind of data tracking tool, maybe an ABC analysis form, frequency or duration of response. There's a variety of things we can do. We can do a behavior rating scale when all is said and done, and just start to see which mode of communication is preferred by Thalia. I'm recommending all these things, but maybe she doesn't feel comfortable with that. Let's see which one is more comfortable for her and at the same time comprehensible by those around her. Okay, so thank you very much, and I hope this plan works for Thalia.